partnerships are just a really efficient, cost-effective way to grow. One thing that I would say as advice to people who are just getting started is early on there was actually decoys where some of the bigger companies reached out to us, but then they asked us to do all the work. Okay, sure, well, early on you're like, I'll do anything, but how will you promote it? And they're like, well, as soon as you get a few customers, we will consider thinking about doing something. And you're like, okay.
This is the Nearbound Podcast with Jared Fuller and Isaac Morehouse. Between us, we've founded or helped build 10 companies, including 2 unicorns, and had the fastest ever launch to exit for a media company in B2B at just 9 months. We've put everything into this podcast and the Nearbound strategy because the market has shifted from the how economy to the who economy. And we're on a mission to understand how to do business in this new era, to reach buyers with and through the people they trust. Tune in to learn with us and go subscribe at nearbound.com for more exclusive content.
Hey everyone, I'm Bethany. I'm the co-founder and CEO of SunSpark. And SunSpark is a video messaging platform that you can use to create personalized videos at scale for sales outreach or just general customer communication. You can almost think of it like a Loom or Vidyard, but if you could automatically personalize all of your videos for all of your audience at one time. So if you think about the concept of a partner program, it's all about leverage. You're using partners' audiences. So, it's going to be way cheaper than ads or something else. And if you choose your partners wisely, you're really reaching out to your ICP. And I think early on, no one's trying to integrate with you, right? Because you don't have a customer base or anything yet. And early on too, as you're picking your partners, you're not going after the biggest people in the space. They don't care about you. But you can kind of work your way up. You start with the less exciting, smaller companies who have just a few mutual customers, but you're kind of on equal footing. And then as we build more integrations and more partnerships, we're able to build up our audience. Now we're more attractive for the larger companies to want to partner with. But we had to know that early on that no one's dying to work with you until you have some customers.
The main thing I'm curious about right now is, especially for an early stage company, is how are you driving the adoption of the partnerships internally? Obviously, you have the power because you're the co-founder, so you can say, hey, marketing, we're doing this, or maybe you're doing the marketing. How are you instilling that idea of partnerships are important, we need to use them as an efficient growth lever, and how are you helping everyone else get on board with that? And the reason I ask is because, a seller who's been even in the space for 10 years, they're probably thinking through the lens of the more traditional playbook, which is not including partners. Marketers, they're a little bit more partnerships oriented because they think through distribution. But what's your take on how you're helping the team think about the importance of partnerships and really instilling that importance in their mind and their day-to-day?
It depends. And I think the main thing is the partnership matters more when it's helping that person do their specific job. So for sales, for example, the partnership matters when it's okay, you're trying to make a sale. The sale is dependent on them having an email platform that they're using because they need something to send the videos. Okay, well, these are the ones we recommend. This is my kind of personal belief is if you tell someone something when it's not relevant, it's just going to go in one ear and out the other. So there isn't a ton of upfront training I'm doing. It's kind of more to waiting until there's a specific need and then bring it up again and not really minding when people ask twice. But it's not we're really educating our team on every single partnership until it's ready. And then it's perfect, here, the material's written, ready to go and help you do the sale. There's a couple of things. One is the different email platforms we work with, trying to help people know what's best for each. And then we recently just brought on an implementation partner to implement our API in tools. Right. So for people who want to use the SunSpark API, but they're not developers or super technical themselves, then we now have someone that we can refer to in a partnership contract with him. And so that helps our team close deals. And so they know okay, I'm trying to close this customer, I have this on hand, but it's not everyone knows about everything. They only know about what's relevant and helpful to them. One thing that I would say as advice to people who are just getting started is early on there was actually decoys where some of the bigger companies reached out to us, but then they asked us to do all the work. Okay, sure, well, early on you're I'll do anything, but how will you promote it? And they're well, as soon as you get a few customers, we will consider thinking about doing something. something. And you're like, okay. So you have to kind of also know how to ignore the false signals and to like kind of set the specifications in place. Like, all right, if we spend dev time on this and build it, what will you do? Because, you got to expect you're going to be doing more work, but if they're not committing to doing any co-marketing, you don't want to spend your dev resources on it. So what's cool is like, if you're open and honest, like you can come up with really creative partnerships to work with. Like I remember our first one was like a mutual newsletter, which I said we did first. And the partner, their list was way bigger than ours. It was the very first one we did. We're small. And so the deal we made with them was we'll send out a newsletter for you now and another one in 1 year from now when our list is bigger. So like if you're open, then you can like be creative, or like a lot of times it's like, all right, smaller company does more of the work because like they're getting less growth. So, as long as you talk about it, you can just figure something out that works for both companies.
Go subscribe at nearbound.com if you want to figure out how to build companies in this new era.